Dr. Peter Glidden here. This is Fire Your MD Now. To call me today, the number is 866-582-9933. That's toll-free, 866-582-9933. Now, you know, we talk about building a grassroots coalition of the informed. We talk about building an army of sorts, a group of well-intentioned, motivated people who are in action, people who really are service-oriented, service to others-oriented, people who have made it one of their missions in life, one of their goals in life, to help as many people as they can recover their health, to bring our message of health recovery through medical nutrition to as many people as they can. And one of the perks to having this type of a business, one of the perks to being a longevity associate, a member of the longevity company, one of the perks is getting to work with some really awesome people. We have a very special guest with us here in the first segment. He's been with me in longevity since the very beginning. He was one of the very first people that I enrolled into my longevity network. He's turned into one of my biggest enrollers, one of my biggest leaders. He's got my back. He's also perhaps the wittiest man that I have ever met in my life. You've seen him on my webinars. His name is Mark Denning, a.k.a. the Commander. Mark is a registered nurse. He's the guy that shows up at your house when you dial 911. He's the guy that's in the back of the ambulance keeping you alive on the way to the emergency room. He's also a veteran of the armed forces. He's been through it with his own health, and now he's got my back helping us to spread Dr. Wallach's message of health recovery through medical nutrition. We're going to talk to Mark today, right now, about real stuff that goes on in the world right now. We're pulling back the curtain on all the pragmatic stuff because Mark Denning, in the back of the ambulance, has seen it all, and it ain't pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my good friend and colleague, Mark Denning. Mark, welcome aboard.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how are you?
Very, very good. Thanks for being with me here. So, how long have you been a nurse, and how long have you been doing the ambulance gig?
Well, I've been a nurse for 25 years, but I've been in healthcare since 1978. And I've been working in the critical care transport arena for about 11 years. You know, and I can only tell you that every day that, for one, I get to know you, get to know Dr. Wallach, and then have to sit in the back of the ambulance and watch people suffer. It just blows me away, man. It just blows me away.
So how is it out there? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? What's happening to the health of the average, person on the street in hometown USA?
I'll tell you what, the 36 hours I'm on the street, every week I take at least 5 people with stroke. I mean, these are people that are very seriously ill, that are younger than me, that even one yesterday, he looked healthier than I did, but yet he had this massive stroke, right? And
how old are you? Just for the listening audience, how old are you?
51.
51 years old. Yeah, okay. You don't look 51 years of age. So you're taking guys in their 40s to the emergency room because they've had stroke.
Heart attack. They have heart attacks in their 30s. It's crazy. The way the kids are with asthma, the defects. It's just, I'm like a flight nurse on the ground, so I take a little bit of everything. When they can't fly in the helicopter, they give us a call, or somebody thinks it's not serious enough that they need to fly, or it's not geographically possible because of location. It's getting worse. And with this new Obamacare thing, oh yeah, tons of people are going to have access to medical care, right?
Yeah.
So here's my thing, and I've seen it. So many people are going to want to see the doctor now that couldn't before. So what's going to happen? It's real simple. Nobody's going to be able to get a hold of their doctor. The doctors are going to be overwhelmed. The hospitals are going to be overcrowded. People are going to be more in the hallways. There's not one emergency room that I go to pick people up that the hallways don't have patients in them on stretchers.
Right now.
And that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
And since the 90s, the mid-90s. and it's not getting any better. It's crazy. And, you know, so you're getting all this, oh, yeah, we're going to get access to health care. That's a bunch of baloney. Sorry. But all I see it is if you don't get control of your health, and like Dr. Glidden said, I gained control of mine, and I did fire my MD, by the way. It just blows me away. And I really wanted to share that today, and I want to thank Dr. Glidden for letting me come on and say things like that. But people, if you don't, you know, and thanks to Mr. Alex Jones, thanks to Dr. Wallach, you know, for doing what they do. You know, so much medical research that's worthwhile is being hidden and censored by your allopath. It just amazes me. I can pick one topic and go to publicly, I can get them off the internet, no problem. Wow. You know, just yesterday I was with my mom. She's got liver cancer. She's kind of stuck in the old school. But with the knowledge I gained from Dr. Glidden and Dr. Wallach, she had pain for a month. It was gone in 2 days. She called me. It's just,
well, it's the tip of the iceberg, Mark. I mean, it's the tip of the iceberg. And so here it is, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the horse's mouth. This is the guy that's in the ambulance taking people to the hospitals. The hospitals right now are overcrowded. Number one, they're overcrowded. Number two, the people that are riding in the backs of the hospitals aren't the elderly anymore. It's people in their 30s, people in their 40s who look to be the picture of health, but son of a gun, they keel over from a heart attack. Son of a gun, they keel over from a stroke. Son of a gun, they've got breathing problems. They're in respiratory distress, and they're going to die unless some emergency steps are taken. And it's getting worse instead of getting better. And Mark sees it all of the time, every hour of every day, every working hour of every day. He's in the thick of it. We've got it straight from the horse's mouth. It is not getting better. It is getting worse. And yet, what do we do as a nation? We double down on the medical profession that is failing us. This is the overarching message of this radio program. Your MD might be the nicest person in the world. They might be, you know, they might donate their time to Doctors Without Borders. They might feed the homeless. They might, you know, do free clinics once a month. I used to do free clinics once a month, by the way. They might be the greatest people in the world, and because they are aligned with the allopathic MD profession, they are sincerely incorrect. They do not know any better. They've only been trained in a very small piece of the pie of medicine, but they have the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry has sold us the false notion that what the MDs do equals medicine and everybody else does something other than medicine, and the only go-to people for all things medical are the MDs. And the MDs consistently fail us. While we go to them, our health suffers. And it's getting worse. It's not getting better. And so now Obamacare comes along and it's going to mandate that you must buy insurance to gain access to the system of medicine that's the leading cause of death in this country, the leading cause of bankruptcy in this country, and has consistently failed to deliver cures for the most common illnesses. And yet we get strung along. We are strung along as a nation, you know, not because of anything despicable. Well, I think when you drill right down to it, at the very bottom of the pile, there is skullduggery afoot. There is an in-place eugenics program that Alex Jones talks about. You know, when you drill right down to it, there is evil at the root of it. But it does not exist in mainstream medicine. Your MD is not an evil, sadistic person, but your MD is closed-minded. And your MD, bless his heart or bless her heart, has been brainwashed by the medical industry that they have thrown themselves into. When you come out of the meat grinder of medical school, it is impossible for you to consider that anything but what you've been trained in is valid, and this is the sticking point. Your MD only knows what they've been trained in, and the stuff that they've been trained in is only one small aspect of medicine, and it doesn't work. And you see it all the time, Mark Denning. You see it all the time. And as God is my witness, I don't know how you do it.
They're in the box, Dr. Glidden. I don't know how much more I can put up with it, to tell you the truth. since I've been working with you and Dr. Wallach, I get 4 or 5, maybe 6 calls a day from people who know that I've been mentored by you and Dr. Wallach. Mark, how can I solve this health issue? How can I get rid of my diabetes? How can I get rid of my hypertension? I got a lady with skin cancer, 3 weeks. It was bleeding. It's gone. It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. And Doc Wallach driving the bus.
Yeah.
So doctors, the MDs are thinking in the box when they need to get out of the box.
And that's never going to happen because of the way that it is. And that's why, our message here, and that's why I call the radio show what I call it, the solution is to fire your MD. You don't have to be a knucklehead about it. Just nicely let them go. You're fired. I'm sorry, I can't work with you anymore because the stuff that you have to offer me is not really worth my money. The stuff that you have to offer me is not really worth my time, and there's better stuff someplace else. So I'm going to stop using your services, not because I have a vendetta against you, but because your services don't work. This is our simple message, ladies and gentlemen. Stop giving the MDs your time and your money and your trust because they just don't deserve it. Now, heaven forbid, you're in an automobile accident, you get T-boned by a drunk driver, and you get a broken leg and you're bleeding internally. Then you go to the emergency room because that's what they're good at. That's what they excel at, emergency medicine. And, that's probably, Mark, what keeps your fire burning so that, you still can go to work and sleep at night with a good conscience. But I got to tell you, brother, the further we go down this road, the more people that hear this message of health recovery through medical nutrition, you're not going to need to work in that ambulance anymore because the income that's generated by the network that's going to grow underneath you is going to eclipse what you could possibly acquire in a 9-to-5 job. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander in the house. Thank you so much, Mark. I'll see you around the bend. This is Fire Your MD Now, and I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, your friendly neighborhood naturopathic physician. I bring 20-plus years. I tried to figure this out the other day. I've been practicing. I've been licensed for 20 years, and I've been doing clinical work for 24. So I have 24 years of clinical experience helping people get so healthy that they can stop taking their prescription medication, and they can stop taking their prescription medication safely and effectively. Because, I can prescribe drugs. Naturopathic doctors can prescribe drugs in the states where we're allowed to do it. By the way, naturopathic physicians are only licensed and regulated in 16 states. This is why we do not have a free medical market here. I can deliver babies and perform minor surgery, order any diagnostic test I want, legally refer to myself as a physician in the state of Connecticut, in the state of Washington, and in 14 other states, plus Puerto Rico. If I was to do exactly the same thing in Seattle or Stamford, Connecticut, as I do in Chicago, I'd be thrown in jail. Or I got that backwards. If I did the same thing in Chicago that I did in Seattle or Connecticut, I'd be thrown in jail. Fined $5,000 for practicing medicine without a license. So what? Do the laws of physics, the laws of science change just because I crossed the state borders? No. The MDs are in the top dog position because they legislated themselves there. That's why they're number one. And if by some genie in the bottle magic, if tomorrow we were to wake up and there would be an equal number of naturopathic doctors, equal access to naturopathic doctors, equal research money given to the naturopathic medical profession, within 3 or 4 years, the MDs would be out of a job, and they know it. And that's why they aggressively try to keep my profession underneath their jack-booted heel. And it's just not right. Now, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so what do you want to do to support and promote the health of your body? Well, 200 micrograms of selenium will reduce the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. I think that's a pretty good odd, 82%. An 82% reduction in the occurrence of breast cancer if you take 200 micrograms of selenium, which is an eeny-weeny teeny amount of selenium every day. So what does this mean? This means if you're serious about breast cancer awareness, you need to call your daughter up you need to get her to start taking, and you need to get her to start giving your niece or your grandchild, whomever it is in your family that's a female, you need to start giving them selenium at 200 micrograms a day in the form of selenomethionine, or just get the Youngevity product. Get the Youngevity product Ultimate Selenium. One bottle is $24 a month. $24 a month to reduce the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. Now, you think that's worth it? Are you kidding me? I spend more on Starbucks than $24 a month. You're darn right it's worth it. And this is the thing here, folks. By the way, this information was reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association in December of 1998, authored by Larry Clark. Look it up yourself, JAMA, December 1998, Larry Clark. And 98, so let's do some calculation, right? 98 to 2000 to 2000, that's 2 years plus 12, so 14 years ago. It'll be 14 years this December. They showed that selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. So in 14 years, how much follow-up research has been done on selenium? 0. Why? Because selenium is non-patentable. You cannot patent selenium. You cannot patent sunlight. You cannot patent oxygen. You cannot patent calcium or buttercups, because they're naturally occurring substances, and if you cannot patent them, anybody can make them. Since anybody can make them, there's no profit motive in it for the drug companies, and so they don't do the research. Because medicine in the United States is a for-profit machine, and it is. And you need to understand this as you are considering using their services, right? 82%, are you kidding me? If a drug company tomorrow introduced a drug that reduced the occurrence of breast cancer by 10%, it would be front page news and they'd get billions of dollars of money. But 82% reduction from a naturally occurring substance, oh, we don't even think about that. It's nonsense. It is utter nonsense. Now, how does selenium work? Well, selenium works by increasing your body's own natural antioxidant called glutathione. And oxidative damage, which antioxidants neutralize, damage tissues everywhere in the body. There are millions of oxidative attacks happening to the cells of your body every day. It's just a part of life. It's a part of living here on planet Earth. Oxidative damage to the cells of your body. Well, when the DNA of your cells becomes damaged, your cells cannot stop making copies of themselves, and that's how you get a tumor. It's like a copy machine that's gone wild, and it's caused by oxidative damage, and selenium reduces oxidative damage. Sounds pretty smart to me. You need to ask yourself, why does your MD not know this? And we're going to talk to Wallace from my old home state of Massachusetts. Wallace, welcome aboard. Thanks for calling. Hello, Wallace. Yeah, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine.
Very good. How can I help?
Well, I have severe kidney damage. The doctor has said that they're going to put me on dialysis.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop that from happening. I know that there's a way that I can get better, but I just have to find, the right people. I'm going to see Dr. Ming Wu, who is a Chinese doctor that does acupuncture. That's tomorrow, and I'm hoping that he's going to have some help for me, because I can't go for what they do. Dialysis is just out.
Got it. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you've called, because we've helped lots of people come off of dialysis and prevented them from going on dialysis. So, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. Now, acupuncture is a very good adjunctive treatment to what we do, as is chiropractic, as is homeopathy. However, acupuncture without what we do chiropractic without what we do, homeopathy without what we do, delivers piss-poor results. And I should know, because for 20 years, well, for 18 years, I did homeopathy without medical nutrition. I was a dyed-in-the-wool classical homeopath. That's all that I did. And I got good results. But since I have married homeopathy with medical nutrition, the results are extraordinary, and it's the same with acupuncture. So I'll tell you what we think, or I'll tell you what we know. My colleague, Dr. Wallach, from 1970 to 1982, was in charge of $25 million of federally funded research. They did 26,000 autopsies. 6,000 of those were on humans, and it was a comparative thing between humans and animals. They were actually looking for the net negative effects of pollution on the health of people and animals, right? This was in response to an environmental disaster in Japan called the Minamata disaster, where thousands of people were killed by mercury toxicity. So this research project, which was huge, man, 26,000 autopsies. They also did 10 million blood chemistries. I mean, it was a massive amount of work. And my colleague Wallach was in charge of the whole thing. And after, thousands of autopsies, what Dr. Wallach saw was that the vast majority of times when there's kidney dysfunction, the kidney itself is fine. The problem is the blood flow in or before the kidney. Now, if the kidney's job is to filter your blood, and if you look at the kidney under a microscope, it is an unbelievably sophisticated filter. There are blood vessels in the kidney that are so small that only one red blood cell at a time can pass through it. That's how small they are.
Wow.
I mean, and there's, tons of them, right? So when you are eating all of the wrong foods, and unwittingly, of course, and when your body doesn't have the raw materials necessary to keep those blood vessels healthy, those blood vessels start to get jammed up, and they start to get clogged. And when those little blood vessels start to get jammed up and clogged, the kidney function starts to decrease and decrease and decrease and decrease, and then you're going to die unless they put you on dialysis, or unless you support and promote the body's ability to fix itself, number one, and number two, stop doing stuff unwittingly that's hurting the kidneys. I mean, it's really kind of a no-brainer. But the problem that we have here, Wallace, regretfully, is that your MD doesn't know this. Your MD is not trained in this. Your MD is trained not in the healing of the kidney. Your MD is trained in chemical management of the kidney disease until it's time to cut the kidney out. You see the difference?
Right.
They're not trained in understanding the pathogenesis of the stuff that causes the kidney disease. They're trained in drug therapy to manage the kidney disease. They're trained in drug therapy to manage the asthma, to manage the heart condition, to manage, the blood pressure, to manage the blood sugar. They can't even cure heartburn, for goodness sakes. There's no way on God's green earth the MD is going to be able to cure this. And we could have, by the way, we could have thousands of patients taken off of dialysis, and we can't say that we can cure it because according to the FDA, the only thing that can cure anything is drugs, and you need to do, $100 million of double-blinded research before you can even start to use the cure word. So we're not saying that we can do that. And quite frankly, from my point of view as a naturopathic physician, we don't even treat kidney disease because it's impossible to treat kidney disease. I can't treat kidney disease, but I can treat you. I can't treat asthma, but I can treat you, right? So the therapeutics that we deliver support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. And we get the hell out of the way and keep our fingers crossed and see whether or not your body can fix itself. It always can come back. Sometimes it comes back 20%. Sometimes it comes back 80%. Sometimes you get the whole thing to come back. So in any event, this is a very pragmatic, rational, well-thought-out therapeutic intervention. And so here's what you have to do, okay? And here's what we recommend that you do. Is what anybody does to support and promote the health of their kidneys. Okay. So please go to my website, fireyourmdnow.com. Fireyourmdnow.com. And on the front page, there's a little link where you can opt in to my free monthly newsletter. It's free. So you give me your name and your email address. I don't sell the email addresses. You know, we don't do any of that nonsense. It's all free. You just type in your name and your email address, click on the submit button, and then my system will automatically send you a link to a page on my website that has the document of something I call good food, bad food. It has a list of the 10 foods that you shouldn't eat, and it has a list of a bunch of foods that are really good for you. Okay? So that's how you know what food is bad for you, the food that I want you to stop eating, and that's how you know the food that's good for you that I want you to eat a lot of. So, and it's free. And on that page on the website, once you opt in, I've also put a little video that I produced called Against the Grain, which explains the rationale behind the avoidance of some of these foods. So you have at least a little bit of understanding about why you're not going to eat these foods, okay? So, and it's free. So, number one, you just have to stop eating food that's gumming up the works, okay? You need to dial that in immediately, man. And you really just need to trust me on this one. So, if there's a food on that list of 10 bad foods, I don't even want you to look at it, let alone eat it. All right. So number one, we've got your diet squared away, and it's not that hard, man. Number two, you need to start giving your body the raw materials that it needs to fix itself. So how much do you weigh?
160.
160 pounds? All right. Yeah. So I'm going to treat you as if you're 200 pounds. And so the recommendation would be 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 2 anti-aging healthy start packs per month, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, and if you can afford it, 4 boxes of chocolate. I know. That's a hardship. It's going to be a hardship, Wallace, I know. All right, it's called Triple Treat Chocolate. It's not just any chocolate. This chocolate is loaded with antioxidants. And let me give you a little bit of a background on this, and then I'll go over this again, okay? So there is something happening inside your body and my body and everybody else's body all the time, 24/7, and it's referred to as oxidative damage. It's the same stuff that makes fruit turn bad. It's the same stuff that makes bananas turn brown. It's the same stuff that makes lettuce wilt. It's the same stuff that turns beer, wine into vinegar, and it makes beer go bad and makes meat go bad. It's called oxidative damage. It's actually the same thing that makes iron turn to rust. And, you know, it is such a prevalent force of nature that the physicists gave it a name. It's the second law of thermodynamics. Everything decays. Everything decays, right? There is a process of decay afoot in our bodies all of the time. And the main process of decay is referred to as oxidative damage. Now, what reverses oxidative damage or neutralizes oxidative damage are the consumption of antioxidants. How about that? Pretty straightforward. That's how antioxidants got their name. And the most famous antioxidant historically, arguably, is vitamin C. C like Charlie. So it is oxidative damage to the kidney, from our point of view, that's causing the trouble with your kidney. And you have a lion's share of oxidative damage happening. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a candidate for dialysis. Now, another thing that oxidative damage will do is it will cause liver spots. So I'm going to bet you 25 cents that you've got lots of liver spots on your skin, lots of little brown spots. Do you?
Right.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, see that? That's why I get the big bucks, okay? It's the same thing that's causing those brown spots all over your body. It's happening inside the kidney. It's happening everywhere inside your body, quite frankly, but your body, for some reason, had a weak kidney, and so it's coming out there. And that's caused by oxidative damage. And one of the leading causes of oxidative damage is the consistent consumption of these 10 foods. So, for goodness sake, when you just stop eating these 10 foods, you're going to go a long way towards reducing the oxidative damage inside your body. And when you take these supplements, you're going to go a long way towards to neutralize any oxidative damage that's left over, because these supplements, not only do they give your body the essential nutrients that it needs, but it also gives you lots and lots of antioxidant activity. There's one more thing I want you to do besides the supplements, man. I want you, please, to do a Google search for ORAC food value. That's capital O, capital R, capital A, capital C. ORAC food values. ORAC is an acronym, and it is the measurement of how strong something is as an antioxidant. So, you know, there are foods that have strong antioxidant capability. Green tea, right? Red wine, blueberries, curry, cinnamon, walnuts, right? All these foods that you can start eating, or just if you just switch from coffee to green tea, you'll give your body way more antioxidants, and that's a good thing. Now, your daily goal of antioxidant points needs to be between 50,000 and 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. 50,000 to 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. You're going to get some antioxidants, some ORAC points from these supplements. You have to get the balance through your food. And let me give you the rundown once more. Per month, it's 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 4 Ultimate Selenium, and 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily, and 4 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate. FireYourMDNow.com. Purchase my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. It's an ebook now, $9.99. Best $10 you'll ever spend. If you know anybody that's been recently diagnosed with cancer, this book is a must. In my chapter on cancer, there are 10 questions that every cancer patient needs to ask their oncologist. And if every cancer patient in this country asked their oncologist these 10 questions, we would change the way that oncology is practiced in a couple of years. The book is called FireYourMDNow.com. It's available as a paperback or as an ebook, and you can purchase it right now. You can be reading it in 2 minutes if you have a Kindle or something else, another one of those ebook formats. Just visit my website at FireYourMDNow.com. That's FireYourMDNow.com. Now, Wallace, are you still with me?
I sure am.
All right, so there's one more thing. I just want to wrap this all up in a nice, neat little package and put a bow on it, okay? So what we're doing here is we're cleaning up your diet so that you are significantly reducing the amount of bad stuff that's going into your body that's causing those little tiny, eeny-weeny blood vessels in your kidneys to get all clogged up. So we're stopping putting the bad food in the tank. Kind of like if you had a diesel engine and you put unleaded gas in it, it would run like crap. If it ran at all, nothing wrong with the engine, you just put the wrong fuel in it. Well, it's the same with the human body. So I cannot underline enough the importance of eliminating these 10 bad foods, number one. Number two, we nutrify the body so that it has all 90 essential nutrients that it needs in order to fix itself. And then we overload it with antioxidants. We don't overload it with antioxidants. We load it with antioxidants. You know, if you had a broken leg, I would give you the 90 essential nutrients plus a little extra calcium and minerals and sulfur-bearing molecules, because that's what your bones are made from. Well, when you have a problem with your kidney, we give you extra antioxidants. And that's the rationale behind this. Now, with this program, you're going to be getting approximately 40,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, approximately 40,000. You need 50,000 more, 60,000 more. So simply by switching from coffee to green tea, by switching from white wine to red wine, by switching from bananas to blueberries, by starting to add cinnamon or curry powder or starting to eat walnuts, you can dramatically increase the antioxidants into your body, and this is of maximum importance for you, okay? Now, when we have somebody who's, you know, teetering on the edge of dialysis and they're about 200 pounds, and then we start a medical nutrition program, 90 days, man, you need to give this program 90 days before you judge it up or down. Now, you may have a remarkable positive experience in the first 7 days. You may feel a noticeable, measurable change in the first 14 days. You may feel something right away. But you also may experience kind of a slow and steady change. It's a slow and steady change, kind of like watching ice melt in the springtime, right? Mm-hmm. Your medical doctor, your MD, will be able to notice a change in the blood work. And so this is really what we want to lean on here, is a positive change in your blood values over time as we go down the road with medical nutrition. And this really is no different than trying to bring a little tomato plant back to life, you know, a poor little thing that we'd neglected, and it's been in the corner of the greenhouse, and we forgot all about it. It's a scraggly little thing, and now we rescue it and give it good water, good soil, good fertilizer. With time, we expect to see positive growth, measurable growth in the plant. Well, with time, we expect to see measurable changes with your blood functions. But you got to give me 90 days, man. Give me 90 days for this program to work. And by the way, anything extracurricular that you can do while you're doing the medical nutrition, like chiropractic or acupuncture, fantastic. I'm a big fan of it, and it will help you a tremendous amount. So, Wallace, we're up against the clock. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your trust. Call me back in 90 days with a report. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, inviting you to fire your MD now. I'll see you tomorrow. Check me out on the World Wide Web. That's fireyourmdnow.com. And if you're listening to the podcast and would like more information, give my friendly associates a call. That number, 855-347-3696. See you tomorrow.